All right, you guys, so this one right here, I get a lot of like, can you show me how to? And so I'm actually bringing you the do's and the don'ts. And so I'm gonna rock half of my face doing one thing, half of my face doing the other. Are you ready? Oh, yeah, you are. And let us not forget, these might look really weird because I was doing an experiment with Tanner. Just ignore them. I know they're there. Now I made you, you're gonna be paying attention to my hands the whole entire time. Sorry, I just ruined it for you. But let's roll this out. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna get out my handy dandy eyeshadow brush. This is tip number 1 for the do's and don'ts. Hooded eyes are a huge thing. Those who read with glasses are a huge thing. Those who need to be able to see their shadows, or they feel like, you're not gonna see my eyes anyways because I've got hooded eyes. And what hooded eyes is, it's when your skin up here in your upper lid hangs down over the lower eyelid. And a lot of times you feel like it's not gonna show up, nothing like that. And so why wear it? Because it's just, and there's different levels of it too. You can have it super strong where it literally goes from skin up here and flows all the way down. And it's not like, it doesn't come into the actual eyeball. Like there is no in portion right in here. There's no crease. And so what we're gonna do though, is I'm gonna teach you the do's and the don'ts for that. So the do with having hooded eyes or glasses where you need to see that shadow, the do is to take it and get it, what I call, get it out of the hood. Okay, we wanna get it out of the hood. And what out of the hood means, you're getting it onto the brow bone. So on this side, I'm gonna show you onto the brow bone. Now I can be doing all other things on my eyes too, but this is the one that I'm speaking of specifically. So we're going onto the brow bone with more of a transitional color. It's not a color that's super dark. It's more of a color that, you know, it warms it up a little bit, but there's no strong thing about it. So you don't feel super crazy when you go out. You're not like rocking out something super, super dark. So I did leave it away from the brow bone itself, but I got it on the brow bone. Now you see the difference in the two. I want you to see this up close and personal. You see the difference in the two is this one, everything, this whiteness to my eye, so everything kind of flows down. I have a little bit of hooded eyes, and then this one is camouflaging it, making it stand out just a little more. So here is this one, and then this is what a lot of people do. They keep their shadows in the crease and below. And so since you're stopping that there, you have all of this excess skin that comes. So if that hooded eye is creeping over, see how there's no shadow on it? That's the problem. So when I go like this, even with my hooded, if I were to push this skin down, see how you still see color? That's helping camouflage it. So there's your do and your don't for your eyes, whether you wear glasses, hooded eyes, is making sure you're getting your color, that transitional color, so it's not super dark, not super light, onto the brow bone. All right, so the next do and don't that I'm gonna share with you today is your foundation colors. So we are, let me pull these out and talk at the same time. We are tanning or winter's coming, right? So a huge do and don't that people make the mistake of all the time is they apply the same color foundation year round. And we don't wanna do that. Another one that people tend to do that I see way too often, way too often, is even if that they wear new makeup, but they just pull it too warm and yellow, orangish for the chin versus the coloring in the neck too. So I'm gonna do the first one that I'm telling you about how our foundation changes because our tan changes and how we need to not wear that. So the first don't is our foundation color changes. So in the winter, I am this color called Candlelit. And when I go to put Candlelit on, I start to get really ghostly. Now Candlelit is the color that I am 3/4 of the year, but you can start to see how it has this white, cloudy cast to it. And if you were to look really close, you can see all my pores really, really strong. Okay, so this is when it's just way too light, no bueno, not gonna work. And you can see just that cloudy cast that it has. You need to change. Also, even if I were to put that color with my neck, see how light that is, even with my neck. It just isn't something that you want to do all the time. Okay, now on the opposite scale factor is when people go way too warm. So they've lost their tan and now they're putting their color on everywhere that they had when they were tan, and they start to notice that things are just pulling really yellow or orange because that tan is gone. So that connect that I have, from here to here, now look at the change in that because it's just too warmed up. So I'm gonna hurry and whip up the whole face with this wrong, and then the whole face, I'm gonna do this side of my face with it right. And I will be right back to show you the difference in the two. All right, so I have both on my face, and if you can see really closely, now see how this is all really warm, and from here to here, there isn't very good flow. It doesn't match up very well. Like, it just isn't right. Not to mention, look how light my ears are compared to that, okay? Now, from here to here, this one flows, if you can see. This one flows from face to neck, very, very clean. It all meshes in really, really well. So anytime that you have that disconnect, another thing that people, that I can't really show you as much of an example right now, is they'll pull the face more yellow and they'll have a lot of redness in the neck. If I can tell that you have a yellow face, or like this looks more makeup-y and then this is such a red neck, we're missing on that connection, okay? And that's why with Mascara Beauty especially, it comes into play so much to have the right foundation colors. Now, Mascara uses a cream foundation because the cream foundation allows you to treat it as a second skin as much as possible. And with that, if we have it off, and you have the second skin, it's not gonna look like it flows like your beautiful face that you have. There's going to be that disconnect. We want it to flow. We want it to go like fine wine on your face. And that is my two do and don't for you. Now the next one we're gonna roll into is going to be for the under eyes. All right, now for the under eyes, there is this key thing that we see all the YouTubers and all these tutorial people do. There's two parts to this little story. One is they might be going in super, super light, and it's not best for you to go in super, super light. So I have this color that they might go in with, like their concealer is insanely light. You go in with that sucker, it's not gonna look too good. So be very aware of that. The next thing that they might do is they are going in light and they're taking up this whole area that you see them apply things. So not only is things off, it's gonna look insanely makeup-y, it's gonna be no bueno all the way. Okay, so let me tap all this in and show you this. And this is what a lot of people do. They go all the way up under the eye. We'll zoom in closely right here. So they go all the way up under the eye. They come in and make this pie shape. You know what happens when you come in and make this pie shape all the way down and you have big pores? Your pores look bigger because you have this light. Let me grab this mirror. Like, you have this lightness about you. There's a difference between seeing my pores like they are pores. Ooh, there's a little fuzzball. But there's a difference between seeing my pores because it's just a natural pore, and then there's one that's being exaggerated because there's a light color coming over it, and you see the difference in those two, okay? So this one is being exacerbated. Is that a word? Yeah? I'm trying to use big words here. But it just shows out more because people say, bring this upside down triangle here, maybe not quite as low as I did, but it definitely shows the pores more. So instead of that light under eye color, I want you to take a color that goes well with your complexion and doesn't pull it too light. And I want you to do this. This is huge. So if you're sitting here mature skin or old, like maybe you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. But zoom in close here. You have a lot of wrinkles under those eyes that are forming. If we go in like I did on this eye, gosh, girl, you're gonna be showing a lot more than what you think you are. We like to let people see our faces, but not our wrinkles. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, so the natural light hits us in key places of our face. If we have bigger pores, we wanna make sure that we are not drawing attention to those bigger pores. So we're gonna come in to this inner eye area and we're gonna hit it with our makeup, okay? Just this inner eye area. Then we're going to take it and what's ever left on our brush, which shouldn't be very much, we're gonna bring it into this side. So I'm actually not even hitting up directly under my eye. You won't see me do that. I'm tapping this in and just tapping with what's ever left on my brush, and it naturally brings this beauty to your face without drawing too much attention. So you like how I'm wearing makeup, but it doesn't look like, okay, she's got this way light eye. It doesn't look like I'm wearing makeup so much. It looks like this natural flow into my face. And then I can brighten in key other areas where the natural light tends to hit. Here, maybe lighten up just a bit where my wrinkles are getting along here, just a tiny bit. Not too light because we obviously don't want people to tell that we applied a light color here, darker color there, here on this inner chin, and then down the center of our nose, unless we have big pores on our nose. Okay, so that is my tip for under eyes. This is my do, this is my don't. We don't want you to pull that color too light from your main foundation color, but a couple shades lighter is key. All right, tip number 4 for all of you, we're gonna talk about blush placement. Now this is one that's huge for you and you wonder, why does blush placement matter so much? But it does. So I've actually talked about this in a past video for my mature skin videos that I'll put a little note section for that too. Like you can watch that mature skin video after this if you want, whichever you feel. And by the way, if you ever want to subscribe to this so you get notified when I go live, now's the time to do it. You can subscribe and push the bell. The bell allows you to see that, oh hey, she just put in a new video. It's not annoying, but ring that little bell and then you will get notified for when I do a new tutorial for you. So with blush placement, you can do things a couple different ways. I love a cream blush because it's kind of movable and then it sets itself, but it's kind of movable and I like it better than just a powder. But with blush, sometimes we see a lot of people, I better do this on my don't side. We see a lot of people that they take their blush and they actually apply it super high. Okay, when you apply your blush really high, it actually closes off the areas. We want to draw attention to our eyes, but where people are looking at our eyes because it looks so naturally and gorgeous. But if they can't look at our eye when we have our blush placement too high. So what they'll do is they kind of apply it on the top of the cheekbone instead of on the cheekbone. And then you have this blush that's kind of on the cheekbone too, but it just goes a little bit too high. But what it does is, I wanna make sure I get that just right for what I see, not exaggerated at all. Fix that, adjust that. Okay, but what happens is it shuts off this openness here. So I'm gonna show you where I want it. I'm gonna put it on my finger just like I did it here. Our contour goes under the cheekbone, and our blush, I want it to sit on the cheekbone, but they're going to sit side by side. So they are touching, like they'll fuse themselves together. So you have your contour under the cheekbone, and then you have your blush that sits on that cheekbone. But see, when I did this side, I went higher, and this side I'm hanging out lower. So then I'm gonna blend this in. And I like to stipple, dab, whatever. and then I bring it in so that when I am on the apples of my cheek, it shows a little bit, but I don't want it to be too strong on the apples of my cheek because I personally have a small face. But just always remember, when you smile, if you can't see blush just a little bit, we need to bring it in just a titch. Okay, and I don't want to bring that too high. So you will see a difference in the two. This one sits up higher, this one sits a little bit down lower, and then you're able to have the two. Now the contour and the blush are married together well. I want to adjust something on my face real quick, like, because for me, I went in just a ditch. Okay, so now what I'll do is look, you have this one up high, this one down low, which is going to give you room for my tip number 5. So blush placement. Okay, they also, look, they're separated. They didn't even marry as well. They're not sitting side by side as good with from contour to blush. Okay. All right, so tip 5, your last and final tip for you is your illuminator. Now you can use a cream illuminator. Some people call them a highlight. In mascara, we actually call our foundation a highlight. So your illuminator, something that's highlighting key areas of your face. Now you can use a cream or you can use a powder. Today I'm gonna demonstrate with a powder because it shows up a little bit better. Now with illuminators, highlights, people think, well, if I'm older or younger, I can't use one. You totally can. You might see people with placement, and I'm gonna place it with my finger again so you see exactly where so it shows up stronger, but you'll see people that will put them in here and then they'll bring them all the way into here. Now by highlighting in this area, like so, that's where all your wrinkles are. So when I go and smile, it's gonna hit that and then not, and then it's gonna be out, and it's just gonna feel, see, it hits the wrinkle, and then sometimes it will be in the wrinkle, especially as the day wears, and then sometimes it won't be. And so instead of going so close to that area, I want to take my highlight, my illuminator, and I'm gonna come, see where I smile? It's gonna come right outside of that area. And I'm not gonna come in so far into here. I've had some that really brighten this up and lighten it up, and it just, when you have wrinkles and really textured skin, where are you getting that textured skin? It's right there. So I'm gonna come right in here, and I'm just gonna bring it in here. And you can do this with a sponge or anything else. I just wanted to show you with my fingers so it's a little stronger. Okay, but you brighten that up a little, not as much. I got too much on there with all this stuff I'm showing you guys. Okay, the next thing though that you wanna remember that's super important, if you have an event like prom, a wedding especially, a special event, we think, well, we're gonna glitz and glamour this up, so let's add a lot of illuminator. When you get your professional photos back, if you use too much illuminator, guess what happens? Those areas are glowing and nowhere else is. And it looks a little off, so just make sure that when you get professional photos taken, especially if outside, it is gonna make that area pop, so don't apply too much. Other key places that you can put illuminator is above or right under the brow. You can slide it down the nose if you don't have big pores on your nose, and you can put it right there on your Cupid's bow, and you are set. All right, you guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Our do's and our do's. This isn't our do's. Our do's and our don't side. They make a huge difference in your application. So if you have any questions, which there's a good chance that you will, make sure that you reach out to me on Instagram at Jocelyn.McClellan. But more importantly, even for your own face, emails are so good on that one. Jocelyn@fitmissionmakeup.com, and everything in my videos, you guys, even the clothes I wear, everything is linked below just for you. So make sure you check out the description. But every Tuesday and Thursday, I always go live over on Facebook at Fit Mission Makeup with Jocelyn McClellan. You'll find me here, and I'm even on Pinterest too. So make sure you're checking out everything. Like and subscribe to this page. And if you need me, you now know where to find me. Have a good one. Take care. We'll see you next time.